Brett Kavanaugh, Supreme Court nominee and renowned dad jeans collector. His confirmation hearings were already controversial and contentious, but this weekend, they reached a whole new level.
The Supreme Court nomination of Judge Brett Kavanaugh could be in jeopardy. A woman going public saying he sexually assaulted her when they were in high school. Christine Blasey Ford, a college professor in California, tells the Washington Post Kavanaugh and a friend were stumbling drunk at a party in the 1980s and allegedly forced her into a bedroom, pinned her to a bed, and groped her. She says he was trying to attack me and remove my clothing. She told the Post when she tried to scream, he put his hand over her mouth. Kavanaugh has categorically denied the accusation, saying in a statement, "I did not do this back in high school or at any time."
God damn. Just when you thought this Supreme Court hearing couldn't get any more dramatic, this drops. I mean, 2 weeks ago, it was protesters dressed like Handmaid's Tale, and now we're dealing with allegations that Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted a girl when he was 17. And what's also wild about this is this is like the fifth prominent person Donald Trump has supported who's been accused of mistreating women. You know, it's almost like he doesn't realize it, but if he likes someone, it's because they have a shady history with women. You know, it's like shame recognize shame. So, like, if Trump says, there's something I like about this guy, we should probably investigate them. That's what I'm saying. And now, Kavanaugh denies all of these allegations adamantly. He says he didn't sexually assault anyone. He says he doesn't remember that party. In fact, he says he was never even 17. He just went 15, 16, 18, just to be safe. Just to be safe. And now look, nobody at this point knows all the facts in the story. But because these allegations are so serious, Senate Republicans are saying they want to get to the bottom of this, as long as it doesn't take too long.
Christine Blasey Ford, the woman accusing Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh of sexual assault, says the FBI should investigate her claims before she agrees to testify before the Senate. But Republicans are pushing for a Monday hearing.
Chairman Grassley argued nothing the FBI or any other investigator does would have any bearing on what Dr. Ford tells the committee, so there is no reason for any further delay.
Senate Republicans have a message for Dr. Christine Blasey Ford. Testify Monday or they'll move on with a vote.
Wow. So Dr. Ford wants the FBI to investigate this incident before she testifies, and Senate Republicans are insisting on Monday or nothing. Like, how tone deaf is it that in the case of an alleged sexual assault, the woman is saying, I feel like you guys are moving too fast. And these dudes are like, well, we're ready, so we're doing this. And now, to be honest, I understand why Senate Republicans are in a rush. Like, they want to get the Supreme Court seat filled before the midterms, which they're afraid that they may lose. All right? It's the same way I made sure to pose with every celebrity at the Emmys before I lost to John Oliver, because I knew no one wants to pose with a loser, but everyone likes you and you might win. I made sure. Now, what's interesting is some people aren't even waiting for the testimony, though, right? They've already decided that there's something fishy about this woman's story.
This was in the early 1980s. It's now 2018. She was 15 years old. She's now 51. There is ground for some suspicion there.
He was appointed to a federal appeals court or federal court. Where was she then when he was appointed to that court? Why now? Why?
I don't know the answer to that.
She had repressed her memory supposedly till 2012, but it was when he was up for the Supreme Court that suddenly the stakes got higher.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why are these allegations about his fitness for the Supreme Court only coming up now that he's going up for the Supreme Court? Get the f*** out of here, man. Like, this is exactly the time you'd expect this stuff to come up. That's the whole point of hearings. Like, it couldn't work any other way. Like, that would be the weirdest episode of Law & Order ever if the lawyer came out like, Your Honor, why would the prosecution submit the murder weapon as evidence now? During the trial? The timing seems suspicious to me. I rest my case. And now, I'll be honest. I'm not shocked that people would question the motives of a woman who's come forward with these allegations. It's pretty much par for the course. What's been interesting, though, is that there are some people arguing that even if she is telling the truth, that shouldn't affect Kavanaugh's Supreme Court appointment because boys will be boys.
These are sensitive issues. But high school behavior. How much in society should any of us be held liable today when we've lived a good life, an upstanding life by all accounts, and then something that maybe is an arguable issue took place in high school? should that deny us chances later in life, even for a Supreme Court job, a presidency of the United States, or you name it?
Okay, well, first of all, we know it doesn't exclude you from the presidency. I mean, yeah, no, that pussy-grabbing ship has sailed. But really, this is your argument? Like, look, we can all agree that drunk 17-year-olds do a lot of crazy shit. I mean, they eat food off the floor. They pee on cars. Hell, some of them draw penises on their friends' faces. But let's not add attempted rape to the list of stuff drunk boys do. And I'm not saying, like, if you did something awful when you were 17, you should be excluded from society forever. But I also don't think we should just brush it aside because it happened when the dude was young. Like, this is for the Supreme Court, not your local softball team. He would go on to be one of the 10 most powerful people in the country. And yeah, I said 10 because it's the 9 people on the Supreme Court and Beyonce. It's 10. And look, all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying is, I think it's worth taking the time to try and find out the truth. Because if it turns out that this allegation is true, would you want a guy making decisions about all women's rights if he couldn't even respect one woman's right to choose?